And without further ado, I will hand it off to our Secretary of Social Media and Communications, Ashley Silva, who will start our workshop.
Thank you so much, Roberto. Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley Silva. I am Virtutem Populo's Director of Social Media, Media and Communications, and I am so excited to be sharing with you guys the workshop for today. Like Roberto said, we are going to be having meetings every month, so be sure to come out to our November meeting and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's get started. So today the workshop is on the importance of public speaking. So I know that public speaking is a very broad topic, but I really do feel that public speaking applies to anything. And I hope that by the end of this presentation, you all feel the same way. So Maritz mentioned at the beginning that there are guided notes to this. This isn't going to be a grade, so don't worry, you don't have to do it. It's just for your personal notes, so you can always remember it. You can minimize the screen, have half of the screen being the Zoom meeting, the other half with your notes, just so that you can actively be engaged in our workshop for today. All right, and that's just the steps. If you have any questions, the chat is always open. There are people that will be monitoring it. Feel free to ask any questions that you have at all. So in today's workshop, we're going to be briefly talking about how public speaking applies to you, how you can improve your skills. We're going to be having some activities and games, so be sure to stay as long as you can, all the way until the end, so that you can participate in our games. So first off, how does public speaking apply to you? So public speaking can help you nail job interviews. Now, when you think of public speaking, most people think that public speaking has to do with speaking in large crowds, having to talk to people with big groups. However, public speaking isn't just that. Public speaking, when you use those skills, when you perfect those skills, you can use it for practically anything. When you're talking one-on-one with a person, for example, for an interview in the future, using your public speaking skills, being able to communicate, being able to get your message and your point across can also help you nail your interviews, get the job, and get, a good career. Like I mentioned, public speaking can help you convey your message. Public speaking skills can allow you to have, good word choice, and it can help you allow for whoever's listening to you, your audience, can allow your audience to understand you a little bit better. So your public speaking skills contribute to you being able to convey a message. Like I said, whether it be in a big group where you have a lot of people, or if it's in a little group, or even one-on-one with a person, being someone who's your friend, a family member, or an interview. Public speaking can also help you break out of your shy shell. So personally, I feel that COVID made me a lot shyer, and some people who know me know that I've always been very extroverted, and I always love talking. However, I do feel that COVID made me a lot shyer just because I did not have face-to-face conversations with people. So I feel like practicing my public speaking skills and just being able to do that allowed me to break out of that shy shell so that I could feel more comfortable with myself, with speaking to others, whether it be on Zoom or in person. So here are some statistics on how public speaking applies to you. So these statistics really did surprise me, and I hope that they surprise you too. So 25% of people forget the names of their close friends and even family members. Now, I hope that you don't forget your best friend's name, because then she probably won't be your best friend, or he probably won't be your best friend anymore, which is kind of sad because I mean, 25% really is a big number, especially for considering the fact that they're close friends and family members. I mean, like, if you forget what your mom's name is, 25% of people forget that. That's just insane. You know, that's kind of crazy, I think. Next, students are able to pay attention to about 10 minutes worth of class lectures on average. So you may be asking why I included this one, because your public speaking skills, your ability to talk to people, to convey your message across, your word choice, the way that you engage yourself through public speaking can allow your attention span or the attention span of your audience to increase, so that way they don't listen to just 10 minutes of what you're saying, they listen to the whole thing. So improving your public speaking skills can allow you to have your audience pay more attention to what you're saying and they can retain the information that you're giving. For example, in this case, it was students. So I can definitely attest to the fact that with math class, 10 minutes is definitely too much time for an attention span. So really being able to engage with your audience, allowing yourself to have, to improve your vocabulary, working with how the crowd is, being able to talk, having like confidence can allow this statistic to like completely vanish. And it will also help your speech, whatever it is that you're doing. It can allow everyone else that is listening to you be able to retain and grab everything and be able to even explain it back to you afterwards if you were to ask. The next statistic, which I don't think that we should be surprised with this one, is that attention spans have decreased over about 50% over the past decade. Like I did mention earlier, COVID unfortunately made the attention spans really, really lower. I mean, I was sitting in my room and I have a younger sister, and it was always so funny because I was in the middle of a biology class and my sister, she's just dying of laughter in the middle of me learning about dissecting a frog in biology. So her dying of laughter, I go to her room and she has her camera off on Zoom and she's just watching TV, straight up watching TV. And it's crazy because she did not pay attention to whatever it was that she was learning on Zoom because of the fact that her attention span wasn't there. Her reasoning to pay attention just wasn't there. I mean, on Zoom, I think that we can all attest to the time that we just had our camera off and we weren't fully paying attention. That has to do with your attention span. And last but definitely not least, 7% of people forget their own birthday. So I hope that all of you can remember your own birthday. Thankfully, this statistic is not high, but the fact of the matter is that public speaking, with all of these statistics, actually, public speaking can allow for your audience, for anyone listening to you, to be able to remember everything. And that is key. That is something that we want. Being able to talk to someone one-on-one, or being able to talk to someone like some audience, a lot of people, a large group of people, can allow you to remember and be able to retain everything that you needed to remember. So the fact that people forget their own birthday should be saying something in itself. That should be 0%, but unfortunately it is a number. So I guess there's not much we can do about that. So next, like I said, there are a whole bunch of issues with public speaking having to do mostly with your audience remembering, being able to retain the information that you gave, whether it be a normal conversation, or whether it be something that's a little bit more professional, on a professional level. So how can you improve your public speaking skills? So now that you know how public speaking applies to you, how can you get different results? How do you change those statistics that I just showed you? Well, here are 6 tips on how you can improve your public speaking skills so that way, whoever it is you're talking to, whether it be a person or a large group of people, they can remember what it is that you're saying. So first, be engaging. Being engaging has a lot to do with coming up with activities, walking around the room, getting people's attention, calling their names, inviting them to participate, allowing time for their voices to be heard so that way it's not just one person straight up talking. Just like this. But it's okay because we have games, we have activities later, so yeah. And being creative. So kind of like with being engaging, being creative when you are presenting a speech or using your public speaking skills also contributes to increasing and having better skills. So being creative, coming up with new ways to get people's attention, including phrases that will grab people's attention. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but let's keep going. Number 3, show off your personality. I mean, this applies to anything. If you just speak in a tone that kind of sounds like monotone, like it sounds like you're a robot, like you're reading based off of a script, does not sound good. And people are going to feel dead. It's going to feel like a dead environment. Like I mentioned before, math usually is a subject that most people find boring because the teachers just sound straight monotone. They just sound like robots. And you're going to remember that word monotone from at the end of this meeting, I promise you. So be sure to show off your personality. I mean, it could be something serious, but also give it a little bit of you in it. People want to hear more about, people want to find the things about you. And speeches are an easy way to get a little bit of your personality there. So it's an easy way and it improves your public speaking skills. For me, I'm an anchor. I'm an anchor for my school's television network, I guess you could say. And I walked in to my high school and we did scripts. And at the beginning, I wrote the scripts and I wrote it strictly informational. And of course, I did get the point across. However, it did not grab the attention of the people watching. And the people watching were high schoolers, 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, and 12th graders. And they weren't paying attention to it because it just sounded scripted. It was just informational. So I did get advice for showing off your personality from one of the advanced TVs at my school. And they told me to try and incorporate a little bit more of me in it. And we noticed that showing off a little bit of your personality in the morning announcements at my school allowed for the students to be able to pay attention more to it, add something funny to it, add something serious, add something that people will pay attention to. It doesn't necessarily, your speeches, your public speaking doesn't necessarily have to be scripted. You can always just go off a little bit. It doesn't have to be specifically just your message. Work with your crowd. So this one is definitely key. Working with your crowd it depends. If you are speaking to a crowd of teenagers, you wouldn't want to use words that aren't incorporated in their daily lives. So, for instance, if you're talking to teenagers, you want them to be able to relate with what you're saying. So, using SAT vocabulary words, talking to incoming freshmen, will not grab their attention. So what I mean when I say work with your crowd is allow for yourself to notice that, okay, hey, there's freshmen coming in. I want them to pay attention to me. How can I do this? Well, you can do this by easily just, noticing that they're freshmen and trying to relate to them so that way they pay more attention to whatever it is that you need to get across. Number 5, increase your vocabulary. Increasing your vocabulary does help you work with your crowd. So if you need to talk to a group of adults or you need to talk to government officials, state officials, increasing your vocabulary will give you authority. And what I mean by that is if you need to talk to a large group of people and you are presenting a case, for instance, you're presenting a case or you're presenting an issue that is happening in your community, having good vocabulary will help you present your message better. It'll allow you to have more authority and more of like an understanding based off of what it is that you're talking about. And number 6, practice as much as you can. I mean, yes, you should always have something scripted, but always just practice it a little bit, listen to yourself, look in the mirror, do it. Practice makes perfect. That always comes in handy. I am so sorry. It just made me reload the page. Just give me 1 second. I hope that you're all getting some good notes on this because I hope that it helps, hopefully. All right, so we are going back to the PowerPoint so you guys can see it. All right, so these are just 6 tips that can help you improve your skills. We are going to be having a Kahoot later on that will also include some other skills, so be sure to jot those down as well. So some final notes is that public speaking can be used for anything, for any occupation, for small crowds, for large crowds, for one-on-one. It can be used for anything. You could be a news anchor and you would need public speaking skills. You could be a social media coordinator and you would still need public speaking skills because of the fact that humans need to interact and they talk to each other. Their interactions are by talking to each other. So if you improve your public speaking skills, if you improve the way that you talk, you can have better results with that. Keeping your audience with you is important. You want to make sure that, yes, you do get your message across, but it's not boring. You need people to be engaged. You need to reinforce certain things. You need to hear what they think and allow for everyone to be able to have a certain opportunity. And you will need to have public speaking skills for anything and everything that you do in the near future. So that is the end of this workshop. And now I'm going to pass it over to Lucia Bring to use what you learned.
So once again, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lucia Bring. I am currently the International Relations executive member here at Virtutem Populo. And I want to do a quick activity with you guys. I'm using what Ashley explained so nicely. I honestly enjoyed it very much. I need 6 of you guys who are willing to speak to please use the raise your hand emoticon on Zoom so that I know. We are going to do 1 argumentative topic with 2 speakers, 2 persuasive topics, which each will have 1 speaker, and then 2 informative topics, each will have 1 speaker. You will have 1 minute to speak, and I'm gonna give you 1 minute to prepare. Could the people who want to participate please raise their hands?
Come on, guys. Okay, Brenda. Annie, you want to try, Annie? Caroline. It's going to be easy, Annie, I promise. Okay, Annie, good. Let's see who else we can pull. Any other volunteers? Margie, come on, Margie. No, Margie. How many people do we have? How many people do you need? Lucia?
6, I need 6, and I believe that there are
5.
5.
Okay, one more person.
One more person, you guys. One more person. I promise you, they are really fun topics.
One more person, just to practice some public speaking. Oh, I think we got a 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, we still have fun.
Okay.
I don't mind.
Okay, and Katie, perfect. So
Okay,
we have
so
6.
we have 6. All right. Okay, so can you guys keep your hands up? All right, Brenda, I'm gonna give you a persuasive topic. Sell me the nearest thing to you, right? So find something in your area, and in the minute, convince me to buy it. Carolina, I want you to also persuade me. Tell me about one thing that's gone wrong in the last few days, and let's be a little fun about this. Blame horoscopes, like, oh yeah, I failed my math test because like Saturn's in retrograde. Things like that. Annie, inform me about why eating flowers is possible. Nicolette, inform me about the worst nickname you've ever been given. And then Nayo, I think, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your name. I can't. Nayo, okay. We're gonna do an argumentative with this, so you can pick the side, but let me know right now. Are boys the true gossip girls? So are you pro boys aren't the true gossip girls, or are you against boy? Are you for it or are you against it? Let me know. And then that would be our argumentative.
What did you say?
So are boys the true gossip girls?
Lucia,
I'm sorry.
Wait.
What?
Lucia, I have a question.
Yeah.
What's my I have to persuade my persuasive topic is about I have to convince you.
Grab something random in your area and persuade me to buy it. Basically, like grab a pencil and be like, you should buy this pencil because it's like the best pencil out there, and then convince me why it's the best pencil out there. And then Nayo, and then
Okay.
Katie, I think it was. Okay, so Nayo's doing boys are the true gossip girls, which means that Katie, I think, I don't know, I can't read right now. I'm not wearing my glasses. You would be going for boys are not the true gossip girls. So I'm gonna give you guys a minute starting now. And yeah, convince me.
So I'm basically just saying like I'm just finna argue with her about boys not being a gossip girl.
Yeah, you're taking the side of boys aren't a gossip girl, and then so on and so forth.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys have a minute to prepare, and then Lucia will call on you guys. In the meantime, I'm going to ask everyone once again to please complete the sign-in sheet. I'm going to send it once more. And yeah, please complete that. And
all right, the 1 minute is up. Like Mauricio saying, if you haven't signed up, sign up, because then you won't be recognized as like you came. It is 12 at night. Okay. We'll start with like the order that I picked you guys in. Brenda, what are you selling me today?
Okay, so basically I am telling you to wait a moment. Yeah, okay, so basically I'm telling you to buy this book that I have with me right now. And so I just persuade you for 1 minute.
Yeah, why should I buy the book?
Okay, the reason why you should buy the book is that if you are interested in crime or in mystery, then this is the book that you should get. Reading books could like open your mind and give you a deeper knowledge, and also can improve your vocabulary. This book is based on true history and true crime. So if you are interested in that sort of genre, or then it's the book that you should read. But however, if you're not interested, then it's always okay. It's okay to try something new or whatever. Yes, and reading books it's very intellectual. It's an intellectual hobby to do, and it could help you for the future, you know. And that's all I really have to say.
Well, that is 1 minute. Okay. I really liked how you were like, oh, and if you're not interested, then you should try something new either way. So that was good. Definitely take a negative, turn it into a positive. That was very good. Pretty good. I liked it.
Thank you.
Carolina, go and blame your horoscope for the next worst thing that has happened in your life.
For an entire minute?
Just talk for as long as you want.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be for the entire minute. I just give you guys a minute because like maybe you want to talk for the whole minute. I don't know.
Are you going up right now? I failed my math test because I'm a Taurus. That's it. That's all I can think of.
Okay, we appreciate
Go.
the creativity.
I mean, yeah, I would have gone a bit more into detail, like, oh, I failed my math test because I'm a Taurus, and like pull something out of anything. And like my teacher's a Capricorn, so like we definitely don't get along, and he definitely didn't teach me math correctly. So like I failed my math test because I'm a Taurus, and because my teacher doesn't know how to teach my sign, something like that. You know, you always want to elaborate. But hey, creativity is awarded, and you had the guts to speak out, which is what is worth. So thank you so much for trying. Annie, tell me why eating flowers is possible.
I think we can all agree that flowers are very pretty, and most of them are very pleasant smelling. And historically, things with pleasant smells are edible. You can also find a variety of flowers used as decorations on cocktails. And since they are incorporated into food, they should be edible. They're also given as gifts very often. And one of our major instincts is to eat. I mean, don't you think this just looks absolutely delectable? And yes, flowers are edible. Thank you.
Wonderful. You really did make me want to eat that flower. Like, all right, Nicolette, worst nickname you've ever been given and why?
For me, I kind of had two answers. So my first answer was Nicole because I absolutely despise being called Nicole in English. Nicole in Espanol, I'm fine, but in English, I never liked it. Also, a nickname that I have is
Showed your personality with that one. Really put in points for that one. Hey, it is what it is. Sure. Good job. Okay. Neo, argue to me why boys are the biggest gossip girl.
You said why boys are more gossip?
Yeah. I said pick a side, and I believe you said that you were gonna do are the gossip girls. So.
I think men are like more gossip, like because when you think of women being gossip, when you think of gossip, you think of girl, and I think because society looks at more of women or girls as always spreading rumors or always like talking down upon people, nobody ever really looks at men or turn the other cheek. So, and society also doesn't look how fast like rumors can spread in men more than women, because I'm a woman. I think that women don't tell other women things, especially if they're not close or not close friends. But men, they don't care, you know. Men, they don't care, so they'll tell anybody anything. So that's why I believe like men should be known as more gossip girlish more than women, because men mouth just run to anyone and anything more than women.
Valid
So,
point.
yeah.
Valid. That's a solid one. Okay. Collins, would you like to argue back? Men are not the biggest gossip girls.
Yes, I just put what I typed in so far. Um, Boys are not gossip girls. They focus on sports. Some are low key and basically stay to themselves. Boys are into video games and never really have time to gossip unless it's about what game is coming out. Boys are not gossipers, period.
Very strong argument. Okay, so we've got men are gossip girls because they just talk to anybody, and then we got men are not gossip girls because they don't have time for that. Honestly, I'm torn. You guys both did a really good job in explaining yourselves. In that 1 minute, honestly, argument. I don't know, Roberto, what do you think? Are men the biggest gossip girls?
Oh, thank you for bringing me up, Lucia. Um, I will say that I'm like Switzerland, neutral and beautiful. But if I have to give an opinion, I will say that it's more an individual thing than a gender related thing.
Okay,
So,
okay, but the topic is, are men the biggest gossip girls? So like,
but why do we have to focus on the question?
okay, because that I'm asking you, who do you agree with more? We've
Okay.
got
Okay,
two
like with
arguments.
the
Who do you
summary.
agree with more? Yeah, go ahead, Emma.
Okay, so in my opinion, based on the arguments they presented, I'd probably have to go with the argument that they are the biggest gossip girls, because
Okay.
it is true that they don't really take into consideration as to who they're talking to, and as to like them being close with the person. Based off what she brought up, I think that that would be my side of the argument.
All right. So I guess in this case, men are the biggest gossip girls, and if somebody tells you differently, you can tell them you found out in this meeting. But yeah, that will be all for our use what you learned. I hope you guys enjoyed the little fun activity. Now I'm gonna hand it off to Leonardo to continue with our presentation.
So hi guys, my name is Leonardo Castillo. I hope you guys are having a great day. You guys can just call me Leo. But I just really quickly want to introduce our guest speaker. So her name is Anne Sophie Frederick. And honestly, like we're really grateful that she's here. If we could just give her like a virtual little clap of hands. I think, you know, even the whole Virtutem Populo team is super happy that she's here. So just a little summary about her. So she's currently the president of NDCPS District CGA, and she's a senior at SAS, which is School for Advanced Studies North, and is the founder of High Tech Coding, which is a place where Haitian girls can get the opportunity to learn more about the ever-growing world of technology and principles of computer science. So some of Anne's passions are math, linguistics, engineering, and she thrives, represents all students as best as her ability. So just one more time before before we give her the stage, we're really happy to have you here, and we're super happy that we could partner up with you. Thank you so much for being here. Let's just let her take the stage.
Thank you so much. Am I able to share my screen? Can you hear me first of all?
Yeah. So Maurice is the host, so he should be able to allow you to share your screen. Give us a second, please.
Okay.
Let's see, is there a problem with sharing screen? You can share your screen on Sophie.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that right now. Thank you so much for the, can you see it?
Yes.
All right. So thank you so much for the little introduction. I'm Anne Sophie Frederick, and like everything basically that you saw, it's like about me. I like math, I like linguistics, I like engineering. I also like music. I don't think I mentioned that, but yeah. So before I even get started, I'm gonna talk about like why you should be civically engaged as a student. And before I even jump into the presentation, I want to share with you my experience as an engaged student. Like, why am I even the president of the district SGA, and other things that I'm doing as well. So a little bit about me is that I come from Haiti. I spent most of my life there. So I was very active in elementary school. I was the president 5th and 6th grade. So from first to fourth grade, we didn't really have SGA, but later on, I became a very active student, like active in like so many different clubs. And in middle school, I didn't really run for any position, but I was still active. I was still like doing many things. And I also want to mention how, like, even if you don't have the title, but sometimes, you know, they see in you, like, you know, you're a leader, you're very responsible. And that's one of the reasons, like, when I got my first position in any like board, it was because like they nominated me for it. It wasn't because I ran for it. So like, it's definitely important. I'm going to start by that to like, not just have, you know, run for a title, but, you know, be active and engaged in like in your surrounding on a small or large scale. So basically, wait, hold on. Yep. Next slide. So why should you? I talked to you a little bit about, actually, I didn't say that, but why did I? For the times like when I came here and I got the opportunity to be part of my school's SGA, I just felt really that I could bring something to the table. Like, how are you, like, I'm going to ask that. How are you making sure that you're being represented? Like, anybody can answer, unmute or put it in the chat. Like, how are you making sure that you're being represented, or your group or your community is being represented? Waiting.
Anyone? And I'll start the discussion since no one wants to share now. If anyone wants to add on to that. How do I know I'm being represented? Personally, my way of represented is by being involved. That's why I have the pleasure of serving along Aunt Sophie on the District Student Government Association. But I've always tried to make sure that I get to have a say in what goes on. For example, those that know me, I know we have a few students from Miami Lakes Middle School here. You guys did not have a student government, so I decided to make one with Mr. Medrano. I know he just left the school, so we're working on getting a new sponsor. But when I saw that there wasn't a student government, I approached the administration to create one. So that's an example of something that I do to make sure that my voice is being heard. And it can be something as small as going up to your principal or your assistant principal and sharing something that goes on. But if anyone else wants to share, that's what I do.
Yeah. So if anyone else like wants to share, just like stop me or like raise your hand, and hopefully I see you, because I'm seeing the whole screen right now. But basically that was kind of me as well. Like, sometimes, like, I don't necessarily have to be part of the board, but it's very important if you want your ideas to be, you know, if you want people to really see or to like consider your perspectives, your ideas, like, you have to be in a position where they're actually able to hear it. So one of the things we do in the SGA is like trying to really represent people's voice. It's hard, especially because of COVID that just, you know, happened, that we're still currently like trying to, you know, improve our ways of communicating with the students. But like, it has been hard to actually make sure that everyone's like concerns and questions are being answered or being addressed. Like, it's still hard. So like, if we have a committee or you get involved into some sort of organization or whatever it is, then you're actually making sure that people who are making the decisions, or people who are closer to the board members, or like, you're actually making sure that what you're saying, at least some of them, are being addressed or are being considered. So another thing I wanted to point out is that, you know, how diverse we are. Like, if like the people who represent us are not diverse, then they're probably going to assume that we need some things, or they're gonna assume that we don't need some things. Like, whatever it is, like, the decisions that they're gonna make is, they're not really gonna incorporate our ideas and concerns, really, because we need, like, that's why, like, you should be part of it, because you lived it, you experienced it. Like, no one else really had, like, maybe people from your community, but let's say, for example, that particular group have nobody representing them. And so people are just probably going to say, well, they may need resources. Yes, they may need resources, but like, they may need something else. So they need at least one person, or like, you know, many people to just like, you know, be part of that executive board and speak out their concerns and all of that they need. So we definitely need like a diverse group of people. That's why you should like not necessarily run, but at least get involved into like some of these organizations. So you want to make sure that you're not just helping yourself, but you're helping like a whole group of people who share the same interests, who have the same problems, like whatever it is. So that's basically what I wanted to tell you guys. And also like community engagement, like I think I said that earlier, but like you don't have to, be part of the board, because let's say a school has 1,000 students and there are 8 positions available or 5 positions available. Obviously, you may run, but you may not get it, or you may get it, but other people may not. So you want to make sure that you're also like very engaged in your community. And next slide, yeah, some practical ways to be engaged in your community. So like volunteering, for example. Some of you may volunteer because of community service hours. Other people because of networking. Other people, I don't know, you may have different reasons to volunteer, right? But the point is, to get out there and get involved in your community. And fellowships and internships, there are a lot out there, and obviously you're not just trying to like get involved in like different ways, like in any ways. You want to make sure that what you're doing is also, you want to make sure you have a goal, and what you're doing is real, like is helping you reach that goal. For example, if you're interested in like government, there's our District 9 board member, Luis De Santos, who has like fellowships, and so many students across the district is like either doing research. Like I'm not really familiar with that, but you can go to her website or follow her social media and you get more info. But just to show you some of the examples of people getting involved in things that, they can, even if it's like small, I guess, depending on like how close you are to the people who are actually making the decisions, you're still, inputting something. You're still networking and making sure that you have a voice in that community. Another thing is start a new club. I don't know how easy it is. Like, are you guys from different schools? You guys, okay. Yeah, it may vary from schools to schools. Like it may be easy, like in my school, it's easy as long as you have people, like students who are like a minimum, I think, of 10, but it may vary like depending on the school that you go to. But people who have the same interest, like it can be anything, as long as you can find other people who also like want that to happen, or who are also like who want to address that problem, whatever it is. So you want to make sure that as long as you have like together, like you guys are like gonna be stronger. So you want to make sure that you network, and I think I put it here too. Yeah, network, and to like make sure that you have other people who are able to support you. And that's why I also want to point out, like this club, I really like this organization. I don't know how to pronounce the name, sorry, but I think it's very, very important, like what you guys are doing. It's very important to like educate our youth, to empower them, and giving them resources to start their own thing, because the youth are going to be our next senators or next representatives, like, and are going to be like all the different positions that they can have. Like they have to be educated, they have to know what they're doing to be aware of, like, and to do all that. So I don't know how easy it is, but if you can start a new club, that's a great way to show leadership and to show persistence. And maybe many people are gonna benefit from this. So another thing is join or start a new organization. Again, it's probably harder, but I mean, if you can get someone who already did it to help you, or you have the idea, like I'm sure there are many like things out there that you can just like research, and you have help. You will have help from like people. Even the SGA, you can talk to us if some of you attend meetings. You have ideas, we can help you, or at least connect you with other people so that they can help you make that idea become, that organization or club, whatever it is. And also run for positions. That's a good one. One thing I mentioned is that you don't have to have a title to be that, I don't know, to have an impact. But in reality, like you guys know, when you have the position, like it's easier, like it's just easier in general. Like you want to like have a bigger impact, so you want to run for some positions. Even if you don't get them, that doesn't mean that, you know, you're going to stop working. Obviously you're going to keep them working, because many times the constituents want to see like what you've been doing, how you have shown leadership, all of that, so that they can vote for you. So you still want to make sure that even if you get it or don't get it, you're still active, you're still engaged in your community. And another thing I want to point out is that you want to make sure that you are aware and like and conscious, yeah, of like the position that you're running for, because it's not just important to be part of the board or to be part of like the people making the decision, but you want to make sure that you are able to execute, you know, what you said you would in like the position. Because like the role of a secretary, for example, is not the same thing as the role of a president or vice president, or some of them are similar more or less, but others like drastically completely different. So you want to make sure that you keep this in mind. And also like all the volunteering work, fellowships, whatever you're doing, internships, also you want to make sure that they are aligned to that position that you're running for, like so that you're not just, you don't just have random leadership things that you've done, leadership skills like from different places. You want them to align to like, you want basically your whole resume or like your whole, you know, that part to have like a theme, so that when you're going to run for that position, it makes sense that you're running for this particular position because you've shown these particular leadership skills. Also network, I mentioned that for the other ones, but network is very, very important. Like anything that you're doing, unless you want to have your own thing, like your own business, but that's not really going to work. You still need people. You still need young people, adults, like to help you, mentors. Even if, regardless of like, if you're working with like old people, you're working like, you want to make sure that you network, because another advantage is that maybe other people are also working on something like that and you didn't know, and they're probably getting the resources and you didn't know, or like so many things that networking really help you. And maybe it helps you also like expand your project, like it just helps you in so many different areas. And so that's why it's important, like whatever you're doing, either volunteering, fellowships, internships, starting a new club, joining or starting in your organization, running for a position, whatever it is, you need networking. So that's very, very important. Also I want more people to participate. I don't want it to just be me talking. So this is a quote from Pythagoras. It says, the beginning of every government starts with the education of our youth. So I want to see like, you know, people, like, what do you think about this based on what I've said, or like your personal experiences? Just like talk to me, like write in the chat or unmute yourself. Like, what are your thoughts on this quote? Go ahead. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, sorry.
It's fine, Nicolette.
Nicolette.
I think that it's not just of our youth, it's education in general, because someone that's been through a lot of experiences already may learn something new with new information and might have a new opinion that and can work together with our youth. But also when it comes to youth, they learn from those past experiences and they could figure out solutions to problems that people maybe with the technology or with the equipment and knowledge that they have back then cannot accomplish. So yeah.
Definitely, I totally agree. Not just with the youth, because obviously the youth are not just going to be the one working. For example, in the Supreme Court, people have like lifetime, like they can be there for lifetime. So obviously they're going to work with other people, different ages, and we want to make sure everybody's educated, not just our youth. Anybody else want to mention something? Annie, go ahead.
I think that it's not only the fact of youth being the future, and that the youth is the people that are going to be in those seats of government in the future, but it's also the way that the youth itself is being represented by the government. So if the youth, if the government has an active representation of the youth, then that will lead to a youth that is more civically engaged, which at the end will only benefit the government itself. And it also connects to the idea of these of the organization Virtutem Populo, which is creating a more civically engaged youth. So I think that's a really good quote, and I 100% agree with your comments and with the quote itself.
Yep, totally agree. Annie, go ahead.
I feel like this quote is applicable in many states because the fact that if people do not know the purpose of government and if they do not understand government, they can't be involved in it. And I feel like that will ultimately lead to it failing.
Yep, perfectly said. Definitely. I think we have one more. Mike, I think, right?
Yeah. I feel like, okay, like if we don't properly educate our youth, the future of our government won't be as good as it should be. Like if we don't teach kids like the mistakes of the past in certain governments, then like in the future, the government won't be better and it won't accommodate the needs of the people as well as it should.
Yep, definitely. Honestly, like, because if the people don't know things, like they don't know what they're doing, obviously they're not going to be able to think of effective solutions. They're not going to be able to think of, ways to like change it. And also, like you mentioned, if we don't talk to them about, the mistakes we've made, then they're probably going to make the same mistakes and we're going to have a chaotic government, and we don't want that. So definitely, beginning of every government starts with the education of our youth, because they're the next generation. They're gonna be the next presidents and be the next people in the board and taking the decisions. So we better educate them, start educating them, as young as like elementary or even younger. So definitely. I'm not sure. I don't think I saw any more hands raised, but also, by the way, anybody knows who Pythagoras is? Anyone?
Yes.
Who is he? Great. Someone knows. Hold on, who said that? I didn't.
Yeah, me. So Pythagoras was the Greek philosopher, better known by the Pythagorean theorem. He was the one who stated that the sum of the squares of the legs of a rectangular triangle equals the length of the square of the hypotenuse. So he was a Greek philosopher and geometrician who basically set the basis of trigonometry for future generations in history.
Yeah, I don't know if there are any like other math lovers here, but see, there are math in like even civics. So, yep, that's Pythagoras, a Greek philosopher, who said that. Hold on. Yeah. So before I even like stop, I wanted to talk to you guys. I don't know if many of you come to the meetings that we have monthly, how many of you, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about how DSGA, like what it does. Also, you have Moritz, so Moritz can give you like more information about it if you forget. But basically, you can take a picture of this. This is our info. Where if you're part of Miami-Dade County, then we're representing you. And we also have QR codes on our website, dsga.dadeschools.net. You can scan it and you can just write suggestions, write questions, and also like ask questions about like anything, basically, because we're here for you and we're representing you. So yes, take a picture of this. And if you have any questions for me too, like I can say a little bit at the end. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you so much, you all.
Thank you so much, and really wise words. And I think that everyone got a really deep message from your presentation. So now we have a really fun activity, and is that we are going to have a Kahoot the workshop, public speaking. So I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to get started. So let's start live game. It's taking its time. Yep. So classic mode. So the pin is already there. I'm expecting 25 people. Okay, let's go. That's beautiful. Come on, we have 30 people in here. Let's go. Well, want at least 10 more people. Okay, beautiful. So I'm gonna start when we get to 20. If you are not you didn't enjoy by any reason, the game code is gonna be there, so you can join on the game. Okay. I'm going to get started now because I'm constrained, but if you didn't join and you want to join, do not hesitate in joining as the game goes on. So let's get started. Let's go. 10 seconds per question. Come on. Let's go. Okay, so let's see the podium. Nicolette, it's first place. What should you avoid doing during the public presentation? Come on. Okay, using one person. Let's go. Everyone got that one right. So definitely, you should not fidget when you're doing public speaking presentation.
Roberto,
and we have to change
quickly.
on your.
Sorry to interrupt you. Before we continue, whoever gets number 1 on the podium will be getting a free Virtutem Populo t-shirt. So that's your prize.
Okay. Thank you, Moritz. Now we have more motivation to win. Let's get that first place. So let's keep going. What is a good technique to help maintain audience engagement? Go. Insert fast. Definitely using eye contact. You want to keep your audience engaged. So we have a change on our podium. Nicolette gets first place again. So let's keep going. What must you maintain when delivering its speech? Definitely strong posture. You want to give a sense of confidence to your audience. No change on the podium. Why is it important to use eye contact during a speech? So we're saying to maintain engagement on our audience. Okay, we have little change in the podium. Mike rises to first place, and let's move on. What is the benefit of moving around a little during your speech? Yeah, definitely. Command the space. I was dividing myself between identify fire hazards and that one, but yeah, definitely command the space. So no change in the podium. Natalie rises to third place. Let's move on. What should not use in public speaking? Definitely, you don't want to use inappropriate language. You want to keep everything formal. No change in the podium. Question. Yep. To summarize our main point. The synthesis of what was so we have a change in the podium. Not only rises to second place, displacing Mike to third place. 2 questions away. What should you not have in your speech? I personally think a song about a chicken would be really cute, but we're not gonna debate that. So moving on. Last question. No, we have a change in the podium. There you go. What should you do during your speech? And we have something interesting in that specific question. Yeah, definitely. And we want to shout out to our amazing president, Lorenzo Acosta, for being in that last question. Thank you for your efforts and what you do at Virtutem Populo. So, third place, Zoe V. Then we have I. And lastly, but not least, Mike. Congratulations, Mike. You got a free Virtutem Populo shirt. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. That was really fun, and we're not gonna debate that. But thank you, Joel, for participating in the Kahoot. It was really amazing.
Hey guys, so just really quickly, I'm back, and just like really quickly to run through, if you can go really quickly on Instagram, Twitter, except for YouTube, all our handles are going to be the same, Virtutem_Populo, but on YouTube, it's just going to be Virtutem Populo. If you guys can take a minute or two, just go check it out, subscribe, follow us, your notifications on, so anytime we post, you guys being here, we're super appreciative of it, and thank you.
Okay, everybody. So we're just gonna start wrapping up. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys for joining us. It's a true pleasure. I just want to thank a few key people. Firstly, Roberto, for putting this all together, as well as the other members involved, like Ashley, Lucia, Leo. Thank you guys very much. I want to thank our guest speaker. If we can put our clapping, little thingies. You guys know how to do that. I know what I'm talking about. And Sophie Frederick. Such a pleasure to work with her on the District Student Government Association. And I'm so excited that we were able to get her as a speaker. I just want to remind you guys to please sign in. And I want to thank you guys for coming. Mike, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Mike, send me a private message with your shirt size so I can get you a shirt.
right.
But yes, I just want to thank you guys, and I want to remind you that we'll be having a meeting every single month. Our next one, I believe we're still working out a date, but it may be on November 29th. It's a Tuesday. That could be a possible date. So we'll keep you guys updated. And overall, make sure to check out our website, www.virtutempopulo.net. Another thing I wanted to show you guys, and hopefully you can make it, is that we are actually hosting a basketball game. And I'll share the flyer with you guys. We're hosting a basketball game here, let me try to share it with you guys. Let's see. This is the flyer. We're hosting a basketball game on November 17th between the mayor of Miami Lakes and the mayor of Hialeah to raise money for a breast cancer awareness organization. It's organized completely by us. I've been the one running everything with the team. Just want to share that with you guys, but also working on a few exciting things. We recently got a grant. Our next newsletter comes out on Friday. If you're not subscribed to our newsletter, please make sure to click the link in our bio on Instagram so you can subscribe and you can get our monthly edition. It comes out the last Friday of the month. But overall, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully we see you at our next monthly meeting and you keep updated with what we do here at Virtutem Populo as we try to engage students civically through programming, advocacy, and education. Thank you guys very much. This meeting is being recorded and will be available on YouTube for you guys to rewatch or to share with anyone else. If there's any questions, let's take a quick group picture. I don't know if anyone wants to turn on their camera for the picture. If not, it's just, if you don't have your camera on, it's just going to be black screen. But ready? I'm going to count to 3. Give it a minute. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wait, I'll give it one more minute. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Lovely. That will be going on our social media. Do we have any questions about what we do or anything like that?
Maurice, actually, I don't have a question. I just wanted to add on something that you said.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Leo.
Guys, I'm just like, honestly, like, thank you guys for being here. Like, we're honestly super excited about this, and it's great to see that people come. And it's, thank you again to our guest speaker. Honestly, thank you. And just thank you for everyone being here. And we can't wait until next month. Thank you. Just honestly, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Leo. And yeah, so we'll see you guys next month, hopefully. Make sure to subscribe to our newsletter. Make sure to sign in. I'm going to send it one last time so we can make sure that we have you here. And yeah, feel free to sign off. We appreciate you guys being here. And remember to stay active. Thank you, guys. If my executive committee members could stay behind for a minute, please. Thank you, guys.
Bye, y'all.
And
See you.
Sophie, listen, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate you. I mean, it was such a pleasure having you, and I think that our members really, they learned a lot from your presentation. So just thank you for being here.
Of course. I just wanted to say,